Now in the second video I want to show how to work with already existing images data, or how to work even with data from a different software. So for this purpose you can upload a data set which you have prepared either with our app or with some other software, and which includes intensity data. So here you see this is now the full data set of our experiment, where we analyzed a CRP, or where we developed an assay for CRP and IL-6, and these are the analysis or the results of all the images here. Now when you have uploaded data, the next step is that you would like to combine it with some information from the experiment. And so here this is the next step. So here you can upload some information about the experiment, and then you have the intensity data and the experimental data, and now you want to merge, or you can merge the two data sets. Of course, here for this merging you have to specify the column which can be used for merging, so you need to have an ID column, and in the simplest case it's just the name of the image file. And so here now in the second step we can merge the two data sets. Now we see that we have both information, the information from the experiment and information of the images, the intensity data. Now again, after merging, you can download everything, so you can now refresh to make sure that you have the most recent version, and then download the data to some CSV file. If you want to restart with new data, you can delete the data, refresh, and then everything is empty again, but this would mean that you have to upload again. So the experiment information, merge again. Okay. Now when you're done with this preparation of the data, you can go on with the next step, which is the calibration analysis, or the preparation of the calibration analysis. For this purpose you should first select a folder where you want to save the analysis results. If you don't select the folder, the results will be saved in a new folder which is called MultiFlow and will be generated in your home directory. Now the first step might be, in such a case when you have had the data, that you have measured technical replicates, which is the case here in our dataset. So we have 3 replicates of each setting, and so these are technical replicates, so we want to average them, and for this purpose we also need to know how many colors we have. So we have 2 colors, red and green. So you see here column sample is used for the merging, but we have it 3 times as green and 3 times as red, so we also need the color information not to average over red and green in total. So this is here, the information about the color is also used for the averaging. And now we can decide between median and mean, and we switch to the median here, and we average the technical replicates. Okay. Now sometimes you might want to even use both color information in one analysis. So this would mean that you would need the data not in the long format as it's given here. So the information about the color is given here in the line. So you have a line for green and a line for red, but you might want to have it in one row. So this would mean that you have to bring the red in the line of the green, or to combine, to merge the 2 lines, and this means that you have to reshape your data from this long format to wide format, and this is also possible here. So you can say reshape my data, and then it's reshaped from this long format to the wide format. So now you see that we have the information about the analytes, and we see that now we have mean 1 green, so which is the information of the green, and we have mean 1 red, which is the information of the red color channel. And then the next step is you could now download the preprocessed data, save it for a later analysis, and after you have done this, you can go on with the calibration. Now let's say we want to calibrate the CRP, so we use mean2 green and take the relative values with respect to the sum of the two intensities. So mean2 is the test line and mean1 is the control line. Here you have to be careful that you have a valid R formula given here. So if you make a simple mistake in the formula, it might be catched by the app, but if there is a more complicated error here in the formula, then it might crash the app. So you need to be careful with the formula here. If the formula is fine, then you run the calibration analysis. This takes a few seconds. In the background now, a markdown script, R markdown script was executed, which generates some report, some calibration analysis report. You can open the full report here. We'll do this in a minute. On the other hand, you also see a summary of the calibration results on this slide here, on this tab here. So here you see this is what we got with our calibration model. We have a nice R square, and we see also the limit of detection and blank and quantification is calculated. The full analysis report is opened here. It's an HTML report, so it opens in the browser, and then here you see that you have the full analysis report here. All the files which are generated are in the MultiFlow, in the folder you have selected for the results. So here, so you can find the files here in this folder. So it also means that you can take the report and the markdown file and modify it as you like, and run the modified script, for instance, and get even a more detailed analysis report or different analysis done in the same report. You can also change the formula here, for instance. Now we want to switch to the red channel. We want to analyze the IL6 calibration. We go for the red colors and run the calibration analysis again. In this case you have to be careful, because when you have selected the same folder, some of the files might be overwritten. So you should, before you do this, you might have to, or it might be recommended to rename the files so that you can keep them. So here in this case now I have overwritten the old files and have overwritten them with the new analysis report. And again here we see the results, the summary of the results, and we see that the R square is almost perfect in this case. And again we can open the analysis report and get the full report. Okay, this is what you can do with our app. So you can either start with the images, or you can start with intensity data, or you can also start with merge data here in the tab 4, or you can start with preprocessed data here in the tab 5. And you can perform more or less very arbitrary calibration analysis, so you can specify any valid linear model here, and it will be analyzed in our by our analysis script.